Well, good morning, everybody. As I said in the last video, I switched my days around so I could do Mount Musalak, or Musalaki, and I still don't know exactly the right way to say it, in pretty weather, and that's what we did. And I knew it was going to rain today, so we got 10 miles. Hopefully not in the rain. I woke up this morning to rain at about 4:30. And it was pounding and pounding. And I checked the weather, and it appeared it was going to end at about 7 o'clock. I said, perfect, we're going to leave at 7:30. And since then, I've checked the weather again. It looks like there's still some opportunity for rain throughout the day, but nowhere near what was first anticipated. So we may not be hiking in the rain today. We might have some here or there, but it's not going to be a full-on torrential downpour all morning long as I first anticipated. So that's all a blessing. So we're going to go make the best of this day. We got 10 miles. I don't think the terrain is too tough. There is going to be about a 1,000-foot elevation climb, and then once we're up there, we'll bump along a little bit and a decline, and then another bump up a little bit. But I don't think the highest point's probably 2,200 feet. So not, I mean, compared to what I've been doing, certainly versus yesterday, this is an easy hike today. So we've just left the Barn Door Hostel, which I really enjoyed, and we can talk more about that later. And I'm headed now to the Hikers Welcome Hostel, which is again 10 miles north of here. So we're off and running. I hope everybody's having an awesome morning, and we'll catch up with you a little further down the path. We got some mud. We're not even in Vermont anymore. We got mud. Oh, that went deep. All right, have a great day. All right, everybody. We're probably 3 miles into our 10-mile hike today. As expected, not terribly strenuous. We did have a climb to make, and we made that climb, and we're now over that top edge. We're kind of bouncing a little bit up and down, undulations, of the terrain, but nothing too tough or dramatic. We do have one more climb, which will take us to the highest elevation that we'll have today, which is only about 2,200 feet. And from there, we'll be headed downhill back to that same parking lot where I was yesterday. So all this crazy changes I've had in my schedule start to make sense as I start connecting the dots a little bit maybe for you. But we'll land back in the same parking lot as to where I was picked up yesterday, and from there I'll go to a different hostel, and the new hostel is called Hikers Welcome Hostel, and it's only a couple of tenths of a mile up the road from the parking lot, so I'll walk that one on my own. So no rush to meet a driver or anything like that. The only thing that's pressing is, can we get through this entire day without getting rained on? And I can't worry about that. I can't control it. And so we're just going to make good, decent time without running and enjoy the day. So last couple of days, I've stayed at the Barn Door Hostel, which is kind of cool. Probably not the best positioned, at least for hiking. It's not really close to the Appalachian Trail. And it's really not close to a lot of stuff. Now, they will pick you up, take you into town, and you can go to a grocery store and get you some stuff, which is what I've done for the last couple of days. But, there's not a nearby restaurant you just walk to. So proximity to other stuff, I guess I'd say, is lacking for them. But the hostel itself was pretty nice. Little squirrel. A little different from what we're used to in the south, that little red squirrel. And hostel itself is nice, but I'd consider it premium priced. Most hostels are about $40. This one's like $70. And so I think that, you know, all that picking you up and bringing you in, taking you to the grocery store, and they will wash your clothes every day if you want them to. Of course, there's a shower and all this basic stuff you'll have at any hostel. But a little premium price, but it is a nice place. They cater primarily to rock climbers. That's really what they're about. They are positioned really nicely for rock climbing. And I think rock climbing is evidently a pretty big deal here in New Hampshire. I've seen plenty of rocks, that's for sure, but there's some that's really designed for rock climbing. I mean, they're designated for rock climbing. And so they have a pretty good crowd of rock climbers and maybe one or two hikers. So that's really, rock climbing is really their focus. And so that just makes it a little bit different of a hostel environment that I'm accustomed to, but not to say I didn't like it. I think they were really nice people. I enjoyed my stay, slept well, and they took care of me. But again, just different from what I'm accustomed to. Not necessarily different in a bad way either. Some ways the different is the improvement. So anyway, that's that with the Barn Door Hostel. Now we're headed to the Hikers Welcome Hostel, and we can talk more about that when I get there and we learn a little bit more about it. Hope everybody's having a great morning. We'll catch up with you soon. Got a little pond. Pretty cool. I talked to a couple of guys I knew yesterday that came by this pond, and of course I had met them further north, but they said that when they came by that there were some loons on the pond, and I would like to see some loons. I would know what they look like if I saw them, but I can't say I've ever seen loons in person before. And I fully anticipate either in New Hampshire or in Maine to see numerous loons. Loons have a loon is, if you're not aware, is basically a waterfowl like a duck, but they have the most unique call or sound that they make. So if you're interested in that, you should go to Google and type in sounds of a loon or something like that. And I look forward to hearing that mystical sound of the loon. So certainly would like to see him as well. So we'll see. I'm sure we'll get the opportunity. All right, everybody. We're about 1/10 of a mile from the top of the highest point that we're going to reach today, which is, again, I think it's like 2,200 feet or something like that. Not a huge high point, but you're going to think I'm making this up. But the name of this mountain that we're reaching the peak of is called Mnt Mist. Is this ironic or what? I'm sure it's not like this every day. Just the day that we got here for sure. But look how misty and foggy it is up here. They named it Mnt Mist for a reason, I guess. Maybe it has a tendency to do this, but it's certainly misty today. Pretty crazy. Let's see how thick it gets. when we finally reach the top. I'll come back to you. All right, folks, we've made it to the top of Mount Mist. Not very glorious, certainly not any views, but certainly it delivers on the mist part. So that's impressive. And somebody's got a little funny with the sign. It says, "You almost missed Mount Mist at 2,230 feet. Humorous, I like that. Okay, this is pretty cool. I think because it's almost noon, I'm gonna just stop here and maybe sit on that log right there and have me a little bit of lunch before heading down the mountain and into that next hostel. So, all right then, we will catch up with you a little further down that path. And here we are, folks. We just arrived back. You might recognize the parking lot from the last video. Last time we came from over there because we were coming off of Mistical. And today we come from this way because we're going north back to this point. So with that, we've closed out the miles in this area and we'll be heading further north, even on beyond, well, 10 miles beyond Mistical is really where I'm at, right? Because that's where I started when I came south. I know it's all confusing, but that'll be our plan for tomorrow. So today we're going to hike on up here a couple tenths around this curve. We'll get to the next hostel, which is called Hiker's Welcome, and that's where we'll be for this evening. All right. I guess we'll close it down here. I'm not sure how much I can video of their hostel, but again, we did ride it 10 miles today. I think the highlight, honestly, for me, I mean, it's mostly just walking in the woods. Two highlights. One, surprising enough, it did not rain, so I was able to hike all day today without any rain. So that's totally a shocker, given yesterday's forecast. And then the other one is probably Mount Mist, to be honest with you. It delivered with a misty top. So that was kind of interesting, kind of cool. So overall a good day, probably better day than expected. And it's nice to have a little lighter day in preparation for some future days ahead of us. Tomorrow is going to be a no-joke day. It's going to be a pretty tough day, but we'll get into that tomorrow. All right. Hope everybody has a wonderful day, and we will see you first thing in the morning.